Hey, welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I am getting things set up, and I know that you guys are not used to me uh, coming live this late at night, but I just have to talk about this case because you guys know I follow a lot of court cases. Hey, AVA, hey, Nancy, welcome. And I follow a lot of court cases, and this one just it stands out. I read about it probably about 2 weeks ago, and I've watched more stuff on it, and it's just so dumb. Hey, STD, good to see you. This is um, this is one of the dumbest lawsuits I think I have ever seen. And I've got to talk about it. So if you're looking at the if you're looking at the title of this, yeah, it's about Stuttering John. Stuttering John Menendez, who uh, used to be with the Howard Stern show. Now, for those of you who don't know, Stuttering John is, or a Stut Joe, as some call him, is just stupid. Okay, he's just a dumb guy from New York. I think he's from New York, either New York or New Jersey, and he was an idiot. And in the Howard Stern show, you had people like Fred and Jackie the Joke Man Martling, who were writing all these things. And what they would do is they would send Stuttering John out to go interview celebrities and go to um, I'm trying to think, like, he would go to press conferences and stuff, and he would ask just the worst questions. Like, they were horrible. Um, some of them were just batshit crazy. Like, if I remember correctly, he asked Imelda Marcos if she farts, does she blame it on the family dog? You know, just dumb questions, really funny to do. But it worked because Stuttering John is an idiot and he didn't, yeah, I don't think half the time he even knew the questions he was asking. He would just go and ask these questions. Well, he did leave the Howard Stern show and he ended up on uh, the Tonight Show as a announcer for a while. Um, and then pretty much he's been like he made a movie that sucked and he's been doing stand up and pretty much he's just a drunk degenerate. Okay. And the guy is like he likes to give his political opinions and he's a moron. And but the good thing about this, it does give me the ability. Where did those go? It does give me the ability to talk about um, a couple shows that I really do enjoy. So let me show those. Now, this is one of the guys that's getting sued. This is Carl from Who Are These Podcasts? And let me tell you about a little bit about Carl. Carl came up with this idea for a show. He's got 30 right here. He's got 32,000 subscribers. Pretty doing pretty well. And he does a great show. I've listened to it several times. And the thing about Carl is it's one of these shows that if you're going to take a long trip, go on to, like Apple or something and download Who Are These Podcasts. What he does is he actually stole an old bit from Opie and Anthony called Jocktober. Every October, they used to make fun of radio shows and they would just show these radio shows and how ridiculous they all were and how they copied each other and they would make fun of them. Well, Carl, you know, he looked at that and said, "That's a really good idea, and I'm gonna start doing that, but with podcasts." So that's his podcast, and he picks on, John, like you can see right here, the reason for John's divorce. He also picks on Opie, who was on the Opie and Anthony show, because these guys, they kinda, like they take themselves way too seriously. So Carl picks on them. So if you're on a long drive, Who Are These Podcasts? Great show. In fact, if Carl ever sees this and Carl wants to make fun of Veteran Nation, by all means, Carl, roast the shit out of me. I don't care, because he's legitimate funny. Carl brings guests on. He actually makes his guests do homework. They have to listen to these awful podcasts, and then they come on and they'll play clips of them and just make fun of them. So it actually is a lot of production. Like me doing this show, this is lazy, and I'd probably have spent the last 45 minutes preparing for this live. Like I've literally spent 45 minutes just preparing for it. And so he puts a lot of effort into it. And I think he does his show weekly. I'm not a hundred, don't quote me on that. And then the other one that he's suing is the Shuley Network. They do a show on here called the Uncle Rico Show right here, and it's Shuley and I know Anthony Zenhauser, who's a really funny comedian as well. I'm really glad I get to promote these guys, and I will be putting links here. Let me copy these links and I'll put them into the chat. But they're really funny people, and I love comedy. Um, so they're definitely worth checking out. And if you watch these guys, you're going to get a sense of my style of comedy. So there we go. We got the links in there, but they spend a lot of time, as you can see right here, Stuttering John. They spend a lot of time just making fun of them. And here I'm gonna pull up the article here. This was in the New York Post. Stuttering John Melendez suing podcast pair for secretly recording his voice and mocking him. Stuttering John Melendez is suing a pair of podcasters for secretly recording his voice and using his name and even his couch cushions to make a buck off of his significant fame. Melendez, 59, claims comedians Carl Heber and Shuli Edgar used illegally recorded private phone calls to mock and ridicule him on air and in live events where he was the main attraction. Well, what's funny about this is they did play some phone calls of John, or yeah, phone calls, but those were recorded by the comedian Kate Meany. If you've ever heard of the comedian Kevin Meany, uh, he died a couple years ago, like maybe it's been 10 years. But Kevin Meany was a pretty well known comic. Came up in the '80s with Jerry Seinfeld, things like that, and got pretty big. And his daughter is now a comedian, and she was having these phone conversations with Stuttering John. She recorded them. John was aware she recorded them, so two-party consent rule in effect. If you know someone's recording you and you stay on the line, you just gave consent. You can tell them, "Don't record me all you want," and they can say, "Well, you can hang up the phone, but I'm going to keep recording." You now are aware, and you stayed on the line, so consent is implied now. But John is now saying, "Oh, they didn't have my consent." Well, it was clear in the recordings that he knew he was being recorded. And the thing is, these two guys that he's suing didn't even record him. They just played him. They just played him. Um, when it starts to melt down the forehead, it is sticky, not great for no hair product. Are you guys? Oh, you're talking Brill cream. I thought you guys were talking about. Tammy used to watch Stuttering John, which, by the way, welcome you guys. Welcome STD 58, Suzanne, Native Pride, Voss, Nancy, Georgie. Who else? I'm getting through your comments here. I wanted to talk about, I wanted to plug those shows before I did anything. All right. Yeah. Hashtag who remembers? Or is it hashtag horror members? But they didn't even back to the story here. These guys didn't even record this. They just played the audio. They were given the audio and then they played it. That's not violation of any type of law. Uh, they used it to mock and ridicule him on air and in live events where he was the main attraction. They've actually done shows, live in person shows, where they have just made fun of Stuttering John. Melendez is a well known figure in comedy and broadcasting with a distinctive voice and persona that he has cultivated over the decades. Melendez said in his Manhattan Supreme Court lawsuit. Oh, okay. I was thinking he was saying that himself. Melendez rose to fame on The Howard Stern Show, where he was known for asking celebrities offensive questions and then taking the abuse they hurled his way. Uh, and why more people aren't doing that, I don't know. I've offered to do that for a couple sports shows, um, but some people just, even though it's funny, they just don't want to take the risk. Melendez's name and likeness have carry significant fame and goodwill among audiences. He contended in the August 7th legal filing. He carries little fame and no goodwill, like none at all. If you've ever heard people talk about Stuttering John, like all the people that he used to work with, um, they just make fun of him. They just make like he's a joke. He is the punchline. Why are you kicking me in the shin, Yankee Bell? What did I do? Did I not greet you? I'm sorry. I was just trying to go through the list. Um, adding Heberger and Edgar were not as well known. Yeah, but they are still like they do a public show, and you're a public figure. Um, Edgar also working for Stern until 2020. At the center of the complaint is an event held in Rochester last August called DabbleCon 2, which comes from a joke where he was on with uh, Chrissy Mayer, and she said, uh, he asked her if she was a comedian, and she says, "Well, I dabble," because she is a comedian. Uh, and he just got very offended. I'm sorry, Yankee Bell. I'm sorry. I'm definitely getting a plunger stuck to my head now. But yeah, so then it became this thing because then John had it out for all these comedians, and he holds a lot of people guilty by association. Like if you go on their shows, oh, you are persona non grata now. Uh, oh, I did see that, Matthew. I did. Yeah, Long Island audit. Um, yeah, was in court. Well, he wasn't in court, but Brian Fahey was today. Um, Heberger 47 and Edgar 50 allegedly teased juicy portions of secret phone calls between Melendez and comedian Kate Meany, in which he makes unsolicited advances towards her. Uh, this is Carl here, and this is Shuli right here. Uh, Melendez said the podcaster stole an old couch from his trash to mock him. They literally had people outside of his apartment. He put out a couch and they stole it. Oh my god! And like this is not against the law. Like you put trash at your curb. Like the Supreme Court has ruled, once you put it out at the curb, it's now like anybody's. That you're literally abandoning it. Uh, uh, the duo has systematically used excerpts of those recordings along with Melendez's picture and other personal material as the centerpiece of their podcast and comedy act for months. Actually, it goes years. Carl has been talking about Stuttering John for years. Like, I want to say it goes back easy 5 years. Because I've been listening to Carl for that long. Shuli was on other stuff. And you I had Reverend Bob Levy on this channel, and him and Shuli, work together quite a bit. And in fact, I talked with Bob about maybe doing a veteran comedy show, and he said if we did do something like that, he would bring Shuli as part of it. Um, I have not interviewed Shuli, but Shuli, if you're watching this, Carl as well, you want to come on, more than welcome to come on. In the public domain is the term skipper. Um, So Heberger and Edgar even trespassed on his Los Angeles property and rifled through his trash to snatch sofa cushions. This is an easement, dude. There's a sidewalk right there. This is a public easement. They didn't trespass on your property. Uh, from an to sofa cushions from an old couch to display his comedic exhibit in Rochester, he alleged. The pair put the used cushions on display for attendees to photograph and joke about, essentially treating his discarded trash as a trophy, Melendez claimed in the lawsuit. The stunt clearly intended to ridicule plaintiff and to further entice fans by offering a bizarrely intimate connection to him, it states. Dude, okay, you can't where is it at here? You can't say that your name and likeness carry significant fame in one thing, and then be mad that people uh, are putting your cushions on display for attendees to photograph and joke about, uh, as an intimate or a bizarrely intimate connection to it. You can't do that, dude. And apparently he's got a lawyer who is he's like a actually I wouldn't even say Bruce. I hear his lawyer. I don't quote me on this, but what I've heard is that his lawyer is been in jail. So it's like a Luftman paint chips type of thing. Uh what else does it say here? So the lawsuit is completely frivolous and without merit, Heberger told the Post, denying any wrongdoing and slamming it as an asinine attempt at a money grab. And if you know Stuttering John, he badly needs money. This dude is broke. He's broke. Um, I deleted it. Okay. So there is a site out there called Crazy Days and Nights, and I found from it was either 2023 or 2021, I can't remember, because I was looking at how as I was preparing for this, I was doing some research, and they claimed back, I believe it was in 2023, it was either 23 or 21, that he was trying to access the college fund of his children without like just for his own purposes. Um, what kind of a scumbag tries to steal from their kids? Um, uh, this lawsuit is a sad attempt from a sad man to make money, added Edgar. It's not the first time Melendez has gone after people for using his voice. In 2020, he sued SiriusXM, claiming the company exploited his name and voice to promote Stern's show when he left after 15 years. He ultimately lost the case. John is not an intelligent man. We watched him make the same mistakes over and over, added Heber, and that is 100% true. He always, always does the same shit over and over. What's up with the popsicles? Is this oh, that's a plunger. Those are plunger. Oh my god. You guys are trying to derail me. Melendez was on the Howard Stern show from 1988 to 2004 when he left to become the new announcer on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, where he worked in various capacities until 2014. In 2018, he launched the Stuttering John podcast, where he gained attention for a prank call to President Trump. The podcast ran until December. Since then, he's been doing stand-up shows and cameo videos. I do want to show this one. So this was in 2022. So he is a vexatious litigant. This is his other lawsuit that he did um, in New York. Howard Stern ex-sidekick Stuttering John loses SiriusXM appeal. Yeah, this was a stupid movie. One too many. John Melendez, a former Howard Stern sidekick known by his alter ego Stuttering John, on Tuesday lost his appeal in a lawsuit claiming that SiriusXM Holdings, Inc. improperly exploited his celebrity on channels dedicated to the radio and television host. In a 3-0 decision, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan rejected Melendez's claims that Sirius owed damages for using his name, persona, and voice from old recordings in advertising without his permission. In order to add and retain listeners. Uh, Circuit Judge Joseph Bianco said Melendez failed to plausibly allege that Sirius usurped his identity by using his name or likeness independent of airing excerpts from old episodes, meaning that the federal copyright law preempted his right of publicity claims. In a 34-page decision, Bianco distinguished Melendez's lawsuit from cases which judges allowed right of publicity claims where sound-alikes mimic singer Bette Midler's voice to sell Ford vehicles and singer Tom Waits' voice to sell Doritos. To the extent that Melendez appears in SiriusXM promotional material, his appearances are in connection to a product with to which he has a very relevant connection, The Howard Stern Show, to which he appeared as a prominent cast member over 15 years, Bianco wrote. Melendez has averaged a $35,000 a year salary while working with Stern. That's how much they paid him. Oh my God. That that in New York City, that is horrible. While working for Stern, his lawyer, Michael Popak, said that Melendez should have been compensated for years of creative work for which he was not adequately paid. Sirius and his lawyer, and its lawyer, Michael Bagdasarian, declined to comment. Melendez appeared on Stern's radio from 88 to 2004, became announcer for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. He left the Stern Show the same year. Stern struck a 5-year, $500 million agreement to jump to New York-based Sirius for conventional airwaves beginning in 2006. That agreement including airings of old shows, and Melendez estimated that the archives included 13,000 hours of episodes featuring him. So he was under contract when he did the Stern Show. That means your voice, that content, you don't own it, dude. You don't own it. And you're suing because they used it in or like, you don't own that anymore. You signed it away for $35,000, you moron. Um, so yeah, he's known for frivolous lawsuits. This is one to work for me, daddy. Um, yeah, Skipper will not be twerking. Uh, I will not be twerking, at least not tonight. Maybe get me a couple drinks and we do another um we do a veteran lounge episode again. I should really do one of those again. I, I've been, I was working on my other social media, getting it all set up and everything. Which, by the way, everyone follow me on TikTok. If you have a TikTok, you should be following me at veteran.nation. That's who I am on TikTok. Follow me over there. Uh, but I was focusing on my other social media, and yeah, I think it's time we got to focus a little bit more on the YouTube. We'll build this up again. That's how Skipper rolls. Sometimes I'll ebb and flow a little bit on this stuff, but I find this just to be hilarious. I'm going to be following more about this lawsuit. It's a shame he lives in California, but I'm guessing because the other two guys are in New York is why he filed this in New York. Um, that does make me want to look. Does New York have anti? Oh, it does have an anti-slap law. So, what do you guys? This lawsuit? I don't think this is going to see the light of day. Like, hey, Karma, good to see you here. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere. I think Carl and Shuley are going to. If I were them, I would file an anti-slap lawsuit because all he's trying to do is silence both of their shows, and all it's doing is bringing more attention to this and his stupid podcast. Um, I should I should start. I don't want to steal Carl's bit, but maybe I should start taking some clips from Stuttering John as we follow this case. This will be very interesting. Just I can't wait to see how fast and you see the same thing. Like this is no different than Lynette. Oh, you can't use my likeness in a thumbnail. Yeah, yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely, you can. Um, you can't use my voice. That that depends. Was your voice in a copyrighted material? Is someone using that copyrighted material to get around the copyright, or are they using it within fair use rules? Oh, Skipper, you can slap me. Why would Karma brought the turtle wax? Oh, I've got a new sound on the board.
It's because we're a special combat unit with the United States Marine Corps. We've been tracking some Libyan terrorists. In fact, I think we've got them trailed to a bagel shop around the corner.
um, and knowing Stuttering John, he's the type of guy who searches his own name, guaranteed. And he's probably going to be watching this. It would not surprise me. So please, you guys, all of your comments are up here on the screen. Leave a comment for Stuttering John. I've got this for Stuttering John. Do you want to put me in my corner yet? You
Sorry, I'm not interested in being friends with midgets. Midgets piss me off.
Would you like to know the probability of her using it against you?
Georgie. But to Stuttering John, I have to say,
Are you really retarded?
yes. Yes, he is. But I just had to come on and talk about this because this is such an insane case. Like this one, we've been talking about a lot of crazy cases out there. This one, this one has a lot of the same hallmarks that we see with Bubbles and Paint Chips and the Crazy Turtle Lady and the Fleas, which I did enjoy. If you guys haven't watched Georgie's video from early today, oh, she had the Fleas pissed. And they're blaming me for Georgie, by the way. Georgie, apparently I'm the reason. You were nowhere, and then I just kind of brought you out of nowhere, even though Georgie already had a TikTok. Which one of us is bringing the flavored lube on the cruise? Not me. Do they have sugar free? Karma is getting the fuzzies and cuddlies. I want Skipper to spank me after I'm done waxing his head. I just can't with y'all. Just can't with y'all. But yeah, it was gonna be because I was just driving today. I was listening to Georgie's thing, and then I was listening to people talking about this. And I do want Anthony Zenhauser. I have talked to him a little bit about coming on the show. The problem is he's on the East Coast, but he did tell me they are coming out to the West Coast to do a couple shows, and I told him I'd love to come to his show and meet up with him, maybe do an interview or something with him. So maybe we'll get some of these guys about this lawsuit on the show. That would be really cool. I'll bring the handcuffs. You bring the whip. You are just trying to mess with Wednesday, aren't you? That's what you're doing. Yeah. Did you notice the Fleas? They're picking up on what Wednesday's saying. They said that Georgie had only an 8th grade education. Georgie has a diploma. Okay. Wednesday saying that is just a bold-faced lie. But the fact that they are repeating it is actually hurting Wednesday. Because if Wednesday keeps up and gets charges, Georgie will be able to use the fact that they repeated her false claims against her. Whom is giving whom the foot rubs? Not me. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this case of Stuttering John. This one's just so funny. Um, and Stuttering John isn't that far from me. Like he lives out here. He lives in LA. Uh, I need to. Maybe I should start going through his go through his trash. Actually, you know what I want to do? He's got his daughter is trans. Uh, she thinks that she's a dude. She's not. Um, she's just an ugly chick who cut her tits off. What I should do is I should order Stuttering John because obviously he can't afford the finer things in life. Maybe I should reach out to the Masterpiece Cake place in Colorado, the one that all the gay people were mad that they wouldn't bake them a gay wedding cake, and maybe I should order Stuttering John a cake. What do you guys think? Should I order and send him a cake? He's gonna eat it, and we'll put something on it like, there are no chicks with dicks, just guys with tits. Something or trans men or women, something like that, where it's just gonna piss him off, but he's still gonna take that free cake. He's so cheap. Uh, but okay. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm glad you guys were here. I'm glad we're having fun with this. Georgie's still messing with me. She just can't help herself. But thank you guys for being here. This was a quick and short one. I did sleep in this morning. Tomorrow I should be up for coffee with the skipper. Unless if I record something tonight, because I was thinking about doing something because clearly the fleas are really pissed at Georgie and me. So maybe I'll just keep stoking that fire because I've been doing it on Facebook. Maybe I need to do it here a little bit more. Dicks are for chicks. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.